Hello friends, this video on alternating currents part 10 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 9 before going ahead with part 10. Now let us talk about power associated with inductor in the similar way as we talked about in case of the resistor. So let us start with my voltage associated with an inductor, which is V is equal to Vm sine omega t. The current in an inductor is Im sine omega t minus pi by 2. So let me now calculate the instantaneous power. So I will follow the same approach as I did in case of a resistive circuit. So instantaneous power, which we denote with a small p, will be equal to the instantaneous voltage multiplied by the instantaneous current. So that would be Vm sine omega t into sine omega t minus pi by 2. Right? So this we can write it as Vm Im sine omega t to sine theta minus pi by 2. So this we can write it as sine theta minus pi by 2 is equal to minus cos theta. So let me write it like that. This would be minus cos omega t. Right? Now we know that 2 sine A cos B is equal to 2 sine A cos A is equal to sine 2A. Or you can write it as theta. 2 sine theta cos theta is equal to sine 2 theta. This is all another trigonometric identity. So using that we can say that sine theta cos theta can be written as sine 2 theta. So we can write it as Vm sine 2 omega t divided by 2. Right? Because sine theta cos theta would be equal to sine 2 theta divided by 2. So this is my instantaneous power. But I want to calculate the average power over one complete cycle. So how do I calculate average power? So let me try to do that. Average power denoted by capital P. So since right now I am talking about an inductive circuit, let me use a subscript L. So average power would be equal to integration of instantaneous power over the entire time interval of one time period divided by the time period. So this would be equal to 1 by t integration of Vm Im sine 2 omega t dt divided by 2. So this comes out to be Vm Im divided by 2t integration of sine 2 omega t dt from 0 to t. So this can be written as Vm Im divided by 2t into cos 2 omega t divided by 2 omega from 0 to t. So I am just doing simple integrations. So this would be Vm Im divided by 2t into cos 2 omega t divided by 2 omega minus cos 0. So this can again be written as Vm Im divided by 2t. Now what is this omega into t? We know that omega is equal to 2 pi by t. So we can write omega t as 2 pi. So this will be equal to cos 4 pi divided by 2 omega minus 1. Now what is the value of cos 4 pi? The value of cos 4 pi comes out to be 1. So we get, I'm sorry I missed to take this 2 omega outside because it has nothing to do with the upper and lower limits. So this value comes out to be 1. So this comes out to be 0. Therefore, the value comes out to be 0. So we get that the average power associated with an inductor is equal to 0 over one complete cycle. So this is very much unlike to what happened in case of a resistive circuit. In case of a resistive circuit, the average power over one complete cycle was non-zero, but here it is 0. So we say that the average power supplied to an inductor over one complete cycle is 0. Right? So now let us look at the phasor diagram for current voltage relationship of an inductive circuit. So this was the graphical representation, right, which was clear to us. Now let us represent the voltage. Looking at the graph, corresponding to this graph, I have drawn a phasor V, making an angle omega t1 because I am considering this instant of time, right? And the vertical component represents the instantaneous value, that is Vm sine omega t1. And the length of the phasor represents the peak value at this instant of time. Now what about the current phasor? How do I represent the current phasor? The current phasor here is lesser than the voltage phasor as far as peak value is concerned, therefore its length is shorter. And we also know that it lags behind voltage by pi by 2. That means instead of drawing it overlapping on voltage, I drew it pi by 2, that is 90 degrees before voltage. That means now voltage will keep moving, so current will keep following voltage, right? And the difference between voltage and current at any instant would be pi by 2. That, I mean, in phasor diagram, how do the phasors move? They just keep rotating like this. So if voltage will keep rotating like this and current will keep following the voltage because current lags behind. Therefore, we have drawn current pi by 2 behind voltage, right? So now you can see that how is the phase diagram advantageous. In phase diagram, you can very easily plot the voltage and current relationship because you just need to know the phase difference. Okay, you know that, okay, current lags behind voltage. So just draw a vector for voltage and 90 degree before that, draw another vector for current. Right? So things are becoming simpler when we are considering different types of AC circuits. You will see later that when we consider even more complicated AC circuits, the phasor diagram will be helping you a lot in determining phase relationships between voltage, between different voltages and different currents. Right? So I hope that this phasor diagram is clear to you. Okay. So please, I'll repeat it once again, the phasor, the way I have drawn phasor diagram. First you draw voltage in the graph and plot a corresponding phasor on the phasor diagram. And then you look at the phase relationship between voltage and current. If they are in phase, then voltage and current will overlap. If they are out of phase, then the current will be behind voltage or ahead of voltage depending upon the phase relationship, right? So since here the current was lagging behind voltage, so the current was drawn after voltage, I mean it was drawn behind voltage, and the phase difference was pi by 2. Therefore the angle between the voltage phasor and the current phasor is taken as pi by 2. So here also this, the vertical component of current represents the instantaneous value of current, that is Im sine omega t minus pi by 2, and the length of the current phasor represents the peak value of current at this instant of time. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.